Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. With this very great thought, I, Mr. Sunil Kumar, Pgt Accountancy, welcome you an e-learning initiative at Cambridge International School, Dasuya. Till today, we have finished chapter number 1. In chapter number 1, we have covered trade and commerce. Trade means exchange of goods and services, which is an economic activity, and commerce means auxiliaries to trade, which provides helps to trade to flourish in the country or in the world. Some of the examples of auxiliaries to trade or commerce are transportation, finance, insurance, etc. Today, we are going to do chapter number 2. In chapter number 2, we will study about the forms of business organizations. There are various forms of business organization. We will cover it one by one. Here are the various forms of business organization. Business organizations are majorly divided into three parts, that is private enterprises, public enterprises, and joint sector enterprises. Private enterprises further divided into two parts, that is non-corporate form of business and another is corporate form. In non-corporate form, we will study about sole proprietorship, which means one owner of the organization, another partnership, and after partnership, we will study about Hindu undivided business, family business. In corporate form of business, number 1, we will study about cooperative societies and joint stock company. Private enterprises are those enterprises which are owned, managed, and controlled by private individuals. Public enterprises are owned, managed, and controlled by government organization. Joint sector enterprises owned, managed, and controlled by private individuals as well as government. So under joint stock enterprises, we will study about departmental undertaking, statutory corporation, and government companies. Here are the various forms of business organization. Number 1 is sole proprietorship. In sole proprietorship, there is only one owner of the business and he has unlimited liabilities. He enjoys all the benefits of the business. He do not share the profit with anyone. Joint Hindu family business. It is a business which is run by a family. The owner and the member of this business are the family members. The only qualification you require to become a member of this business is to born in this family to become a member. Number 3, partnership firm. Partnership firm requires minimum 2 partners to form a partnership firm. Partnership firm acts according to the Partnership Act 1932. Number 4, cooperative society. Cooperative society is a volunteer association which is formed under Cooperative Society Act 1912. The minimum number of persons required to form a cooperative society is 10, and All the members are free to join or leave the firm at any point of time. Number fifth, joint stock company. Joint stock company is an amalgamation of private as well as the government sector. Thank you. Today, we are going to study about the sole proprietorship business, which is owned by one individual person. Here's the meaning of sole proprietorship. Sole means one or single. Sole proprietorship means a single person owns, manages, and controls the business affairs of an organization. Here, the only one person forms a business, manages it, and controls it. Do you often go in the evening to buy register, pens, chart papers, etc. from a small neighborhood stationery store? Well, in the course of the transactions, you have interacted with a shopkeeper, which is also known as a sole proprietor. Sole proprietorship is a popular form of business organization in India. It is the most suitable form of small businesses, especially in the initial years of operations. The word sole means only and proprietor means owner. These are the most common form of sole proprietorship, like fruit shop, music shop, barber shop, or small wheel restaurant, etc. So we can say that sole proprietorship is a form of business organization which is owned, managed, and controlled by an individual, that is one person, who is the recipient of all profits and bearer of all risks. A sole proprietor is the one who is the only owner and enjoys all profits and bears whole risk alone. This form of business is suitable in the area of personalized services such as beauty parlors, hair salons, and small activities like running a retail shop in a locality. It is also known as one-man business. Here are the features of sole proprietorship. Number one, single ownership. Number two, no sharing of profits and losses. Number three, one man's capital. Number four, unlimited liability. Number five, less legal formalities. Number six, one man control. Let's study all the features one by one in detail. So here are the features of sole proprietorship. First one is formation and closure is easy, has less formalities as it has no separate law is there in the business. Formation and closure, there is no separate law to start sole proprietorship business. In some cases, one may need a single license to according to the nature of the business. If anyone wants to close this business, he can close it easily. So it is an easy to start and close too, as very less or no formalities are required to form or close this business. Second feature is unlimited liabilities. Liabilities means the amount of money which you have borrowed from outsiders or others you have to repay it in future. The liability of the owner is unlimited in sole proprietorship. In case the assets of the business are not sufficient to meet its debts, the personal property of the owner can be used for paying debts of the business. For example, suppose the total outside liability of XY Zeal Dry Cleaner, a sole proprietorship firm, are rupees 80,000. At the time of dissolution, when the business comes to an end, but its assets are rupees 60,000 only. In such a situation, the proprietor will have to bring in rupees 20,000 from her personal sources, even if he has to sell his personal property like scooter, furniture, to repay the firm's debt. It means the liability of the firm is unlimited in sole proprietorship if business assets are not sufficient to pay off the liability of the firm, then the personal property can be sold out of the owner. Third feature is sole risk bearer and profit recipient. It means he is the only person who bears all the risk as well as enjoys the entire profits of the sole risk bearers and profit recipient. He bears the complete risk of failure of the business, and there is nobody to share loss with him. In case of profits, he enjoys all profits alone, which is the direct reward for his efforts and risk bearing. This feature is control. He is the only person who controls the entire business. Sole proprietor has full power of decision making without any interference. As we know that in sole proprietorship, he is the only person who controls the entire business and takes important decision, not only important decision, but also the entire decision of the firm. So there is no one who can interfere in his decisions. That is why he is the only person who enjoys the profits as well as bears the risk by taking his decisions. Next feature of sole proprietorship is no separate entity for the business from the businessman. The owner is held liable for all the activities of the business. Here, no separate legal entity. Legally, there is no difference between sole trader and in his business. The owner is responsible for all the activities of the business. As per the law, owner and business both are same in sole proprietorship. So, he is responsible for all the business activities entirely. In sole proprietorship, lack of continuity always maintains. Since the business and the owner are one and the same entity, his death, insanity, etc. will affect the existence of the business. Because it is a one-man business and business can come to an end at any point of time due to the owner's death, insanity, imprisonment, physical ailment, etc. Here, let's compare the sole proprietorship with its advantages and disadvantages. First, advantages or good side of the sole proprietorship. No ongoing formalities required other than the renewing business registration. No unemployment tax on yourself. Keeping financial records is easy and straightforward. We can mix personal assets with the business assets. Now, the disadvantages or the bad aspect of the sole proprietorship is business rarely survive its honor, can't sell interest in business to raise capital, difficult to separate personal money issues from the business issues. In this way, we can see that the sole proprietorship has two aspects, as everybody has two aspects, good and bad. So we can compare the good side as well as bad side of the sole proprietor and take decision what type of business we can undertake. Let's see the merits of the sole proprietorship. Quick decision making, ease of formation and closure, sense of accomplishment, confidentiality of information, direct incentives. In sole proprietorship, businessman can take quick decision. He doesn't require any consultation with other person, and there is no interference from other side or from other persons. Quick decision making. A sole proprietor has the freedom to take any decision without consulting others. So he can take first mover advantage by availing any business opportunities timely, as he doesn't require the consultation from other members and there is no interference from the other members, so he can take quick decision and enjoys the and get the opportunities available on time. In sole proprietorship, confidentiality of information always maintained, as he is the only person who is controlling the affairs of the business. In sole proprietorship, confidentiality of information maintains. When sole proprietor takes all decisions related to business himself alone, then it will be quite easy to maintain secrecy. He is not bound by law to publish firm's accounts as other form of business are. Other form of business are bound by the law to publish their accounts so that public can come to know about their business affairs. But this is not with the sole proprietorship business. So they can easily maintain the secrecy of the business. This is the merit of sole proprietorship, that direct incentives. All the profit goes to the proprietor only, as he is the only person who is maintaining, controlling the business and taking all the decisions. So he is the only person who is directly get the benefit of the business or incentives. As sole proprietor is the single owner, he enjoys all the profits alone. That is the direct reward for his efforts. In sole proprietorship, businessman gets a sense of accomplishment, as he is the only person who is working for himself. Sense of accomplishment. There is a sense of personal satisfaction when sole proprietor knows that he is the only responsible for success of business. Then he tries to give his best efforts, which leads to personal satisfaction as well as profits. Sole proprietorship. Here it is easy to form and close the business because minimum legal formalities are required, or there is no legal formality to form a business or close. Easy to formation and closure. There is no separate law to enter into this business. Therefore, it is easy to start and close the business as per the wish of the owner. If everything is going right, then he can continue the business. If there is any problem in the business, then he can stop his business as per his own wish. Here are the limitations of sole proprietorship. In sole proprietorship, there are limited resource of capital. Sole proprietorship is very much unstable. It has unlimited liabilities. It has very limited managerial skill. So let's discuss this one by one in detail. The first limitation of sole proprietorship is limited resources. Capital in this type of business is limited and the size of the business is small. The resources of sole proprietorships are limited to his personal savings and borrowings from others. Banks and other lending institutions hesitate to provide loan to them. Because of lack of funds, there are less chances of growth of business. In sole proprietorship, there is a limited life of the business, as the business has no separate legal entity. Because it is a one-man business, and business can come to an end at any point of time due to his death, insanity, imprisonment, physical ailment, etc. In sole proprietorship, if the owner of the business dies or anything bad happens to him, the business comes to an end. In sole proprietorship, there is an unlimited liability of the business, as the person, it is the owner and the business, are one in the eyes of law. A major disadvantage of sole proprietorship business is that the owner has unlimited liabilities. In case of the asset of the business are not sufficient to meet its debts, the personal property of the owner can be sold for paying the debts. One wrong decision can create serious financial burden or crunches in this type of business. So the business has unlimited liability in sole proprietorship. In sole proprietorship, limited managerial ability. The proprietor may not be efficient in all managerial function, as he is the only person in the business who takes decision, but in business there are n number of activities which needs to be controlled. Limited managerial abilities mean sole proprietor has to perform many activities like purchasing, selling, financing and maintaining accounts, etc. It is rare to find an individual who excel in all these areas. On the other hand, because of lack of funds, he is not able to hire talented professional employees. So one man cannot do each and every activity in a business. So in sole proprietorship, managerial ability of one person may be not efficient or not sufficient to run the business in a good manner. So which type of businesses are suitable for the sole proprietorship? Sole proprietorship is suitable where the personal attention to customer is required, as in tailoring, beauty parlor, etc., where goods are unstandardized like artistic jewelry, where the low capital and limited managerial skills are required, as in case of retail stores, business where risk is lesser, like fluctuation in price and demand, that is stationery shops, etc. So here we can conclude today's topic, what we have covered are sole proprietorship, meaning, features, merits, demerits, and its suitability. Students, your home assignment is read this topic thoroughly and do given questions in your notebook. So dear students, hope you understood what we have done today. So stay home, stay safe and keep studying. Thank you. Thank you for listening it very patiently.